My name's Nikki Taylor. I'm Director of Training and Coaching at the Tailored Life Company, and today I'm speaking with Clare. And Clare has very kindly offered to share her story with me and also with yourselves about her journey over the last 12 months. So Clare, welcome.
Thank you.
So just want to get an idea of really what life was like for you before you did your NLP Practitioner, NLP Master Practitioner training, just so we've got that sort of idea of what you were looking for.
Okay, so I had depression and anxiety from about the age of 17 and was diagnosed with PTSD. And that basically just ruled my life. Everything was ruled by them, basically. I was constantly up and down, like a roller coaster, really. Mm-hmm. And was just stuck, just completely stuck. And it affected every area of my life, my family, myself, everything, my work, my job.
Yeah,
I ended up, had time off work for it. Had a mental breakdown, had to have like 4 months off work. Mm-hmm. So it was intense, it ruled everything about my life.
Yeah, I can see that. So were you actually taking medication at the time?
Yes, I was on antidepressants since the age of 17. Yeah, I was on until 17 until about a year ago.
Okay.
Now, so a long time.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
but you're more than 18 now, aren't you? So it's a number of years.
Yeah,
a
long time.
Okay, that's good. So what did you want to get from coming on the course? What was your initial thoughts? What was your driver for coming on your practitioner course?
Well, after my mental breakdown, I got to the point where I just thought, right, if your mind's clever enough to make you break down, surely it's clever enough to do the complete opposite and take me back up. I didn't know how or where I could do that. Yeah. So I did all the sort of YouTube videos, personal development, books, book after book after book, and it took me to a certain point, but I knew there was something missing.
Right.
And then someone had done one of your courses and recommended it, and I thought, well, let me go on the coaching weekend and just see what that's about. And then it was like I'd found that missing piece.
Good. Excellent. So what things, because you're saying you'd looked at self-help books and things like that, had you gone through any of the forms of therapy or?
Yes, I had counselling, which was awful. It was, I really didn't like it because it used to take me straight back into the problems, and it actually made me worse for quite a long time. So I just stopped that straight away, and then I was just sort of left to my own devices to try and see what I could do on my own, and that's when all the self-help books and YouTube videos and stuff like that, but it only took me so far.
Yes, you were looking for something to make that difference.
I just got stuck, basically.
So when you did your practitioner course, did that make any sort of positive difference to you?
Yeah, huge, absolutely huge difference. Yeah, I mean, straight after the course, I was like, that's it. It was like magic. It's like someone had waved a wand and it all just sort of disappeared. It was amazing, and within about 2 to 3 months, I think, after doing practitioner, I came off my antidepressants for the first time in all them years.
Was that in conjunction with your GP? With
yes,
your doctor?
Yeah.
Because we always recommend that, you know.
I went to see my doctor. It took about 4 months.
Okay, so it's done gradually.
Yeah.
Which is really important, because if someone is on medication, then anything to do with health needs to be in conjunction with your care, your medical professional.
Yeah, absolutely. So that took about 4 months, and then I came off them, and that's it. I've never been back on them since. I took them back to the chemist, and that's it.
Handed them back?
Yeah.
All yours?
Yeah,
fabulous.
Yeah.
So in terms of, because that's you, and obviously that must have had a huge impact on your life.
Massive impact on every area of my life, absolutely. Not just like at work. I had a huge impact at work, but mainly my family. Husband, the kids were sort of saying, you're just like a different person. It's like I'd walked out one person and come back in like another person. No shouting, no crying, You know, they knew who was going to be waking up in the mornings. But mainly my son Jake, who's got autism and suffered really, really badly with anxiety and low self-esteem and confidence, which is quite classic with autism. But I'd never been in a position to help him myself because I was suffering with it.
Yeah.
You can't then help someone if you're dealing with it yourself. So once I'd got rid of it myself, I then decided to work on Jake, and he wanted it. He was asking all the time, and it's just been amazing. He has just gone from strength to strength to strength. He's actually like a different child. I mean, at Christmas, everyone was commenting, saying they can't believe it's the same child. So it doesn't just affect me,
yes,
it's affected everyone around me.
Yes. So by being in a better place yourself, you've been able to help your family and you've been able to help Jake.
Absolutely.
So what was, have you been using the techniques with Jake as well?
Yes.
Yes, you have. So you sort of, it's improved the situation because of how you are,
yeah,
and at the same time you've been able to help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well.
I mean, if I didn't know the techniques, I would only be able to go so far with him, but because I'd learnt all the techniques, I've been using them with him, and he loves it. I mean, he's a great client, shall we say?
Yes.
And
keen to learn.
Yeah, and he just follows everything that I tell him.
So just so we can, because I know from our discussions that the huge changes that Jake's been able to make. So first of all, how old is he? Just so that
he's 14 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before you changed yourself, and before you were able to use the techniques that you've now learned with him, what were things like for him on a daily basis?
He would just cry a lot. He had a lot of self-talk, so he'd constantly say he was stupid. He'd constantly say that everyone hated him, that no one liked anything he does, everything he did was wrong. He said, he used the word stupid a lot, and that was heartbreaking to hear your child saying that constantly. And that's all just completely gone. Now he's really positive. If he does say anything negative, we reframe it, and he knows what I'm doing, and then he turns it into a positive. And that's been massive for me, to not hear your child sort of putting themselves down all the time. Yeah. So that's been huge. And at school, he's gone from sort of middle of class, now he's top of actually top of the year.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah.
So on a daily basis, what couldn't he do before that he now does?
He couldn't travel, so he would have to have me drive him everywhere. And one of my main aims for him was to get him independent and to be able to travel. And we couldn't do that. Before I'd done the work with him, we couldn't do that. So with all the tools I had, and with help from family, we've managed to travel train him, and now he can independently go to school on his own and come home on his own.
That's amazing, isn't it?
And that is huge, because it was one of my big things for him to be independent as he grows up. So that's been absolutely massive. That's huge.
That is amazing, isn't it? Yeah. And I know that you also did the spelling strategy with him as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
so
amazing.
What was going on with him before you taught him that?
Well, he was diagnosed with dyslexia, and with that came the negative self-talk. That was when all the "I'm stupid, I'm this," because he'd see all his other friends being able to spell, and that's when he got really negative. So I learnt the spelling strategy, did it with him, and he was just like, that's crazy, Mum, that's like magic.
That's like magic,
And his spelling now, I mean, we do it quite a lot still, and he's gone to the top of his class with his spellings. And we've removed the diagnosis. There is no diagnosis. Yeah,
it was just wasn't using an appropriate process to be able to spell easily.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that must have had a huge impact on his confidence levels as well.
Huge, absolutely huge. I mean, he wrote all his Christmas cards this year. He's never written a Christmas card ever, because he was always scared that people would laugh at his spelling. Yeah. But this year he sat down with a whole pack off his own back and wrote all the Christmas cards, and long notes for some of the teachers.
Oh, that's nice.
and them little things are huge.
Yes.
You know,
Huge impact, and constantly building his confidence as well.
Yeah, he's going from strength to strength.
Fabulous.
It's amazing.
So, from what you're saying, it sounds like he's really changed his future. You've assisted him to change his future.
Absolutely, yeah. I can see a massive future for him. He's very highly intelligent and he's a very talented actor, and I can just see him going all the way, you know, and any little sort of blips he faces, I know that I've got the tools to be able to get him over them and keep him going. And we didn't have that vision before. Yeah.
And it's quite frustrating because everyone wants the best for their family and for their children, but if you don't have the tools to know how to do that, then just the intent isn't enough on its own. Yeah. You've got to have the actual physical tools.
Yeah, you have to. I wouldn't have been able to get him this far without all the tools. It wouldn't have happened. We'd still be way back down the line. So it's been amazing.
Well, that's a fantastic story, Clare. I really so appreciate you sharing your experience, because it's not just been about your experience, which in itself would be fantastic. Yeah. It's also the impact, the positive impact you've been able to have on Jake, and also then the knock-on effect that's had with the rest of the family as well. So really appreciate you sharing that. Thank you. Well done.
You're welcome. Thank you.